I would say MHA are taking very positive steps to try and become more diverse. Next question. How have you seen people's attitudes change towards race in your lifetime?
Okay. I don't personally associate with people who are intolerant of others, be it from a race, a sexual orientation or a religious point of view. So personally in my life with people in my circle, should I say, I haven't seen any change because I don't associate with people that are like that. But I think outwardly in the media, in the news, in wider society, I think people have got more confident being racist. You then look at this whole thing about we're going to send refugees to Rwanda, and I think people read that in the news and they're like, yes, let's send all brown people to Rwanda, get them gone. And I just think, I don't know what the government are doing. I don't know if they're thinking they're ticking some boxes to get more votes or if they're even thinking through what they're doing. But clearly nobody in their right mind is going to leave the country that they were born in and love and where all their stuff is to risk their life, to travel thousands and thousands of miles to safety to protect themselves and their families for no reason. So clearly if they're risking everything to come here, it isn't for the weather, hello. So I just think, yeah, there is utter madness, and I think things like that then fuel this behaviour and these opinions of all people that look like that are bad.
I'd say, for me, the point where I got more of an understanding of societal racism issues was around the Twin Towers. And when that happened, and then how the media reacted, and then all the types of articles that you saw, and then how some of my friends who are Indian, Pakistani and so forth were then treated afterwards, and then the racist names that I got called after that, because I don't look like your typical black person. That's the point where I got more of an understanding. And then when I went to America in 2004, I went to Minnesota. As soon as me and my sister landed in the airport, they basically segregated everybody. They had everybody that was white in one queue and they were just letting them go past. If you wasn't white, you was in another queue. You had to have retinal scans, you had to be fingerprinted and so forth. And at that point, for me, that was dehumanizing to be treated in that way, and I'm just a visitor. Don't live there, I'm just visiting. To see family friends. So at that point I refused to go through that process, didn't get fingerprinted, didn't let them scan my eyes because...
Why?
Exactly. So I was held in customs for 4 hours at that point, called all sorts of names. My sister was called all sorts of names by the American authorities there. So that experience kind of was like my first real experience of how different governments and so forth are reacting and allowing people to react.
So what was the outcome of that?
The outcome was we had to secretly call my dad on our phones. He was back in the UK, we was in America. He then had to call the British embassy, who then had to call the airport and then go through a whole process to basically get us released, just because we didn't want to be dehumanized and treated differently from any other people, because that's exactly what we are, people.
But do you know what? I'm really proud you did that though, because there would, I'm sure, have been a group of people that just conformed and allowed it to happen. So by taking that stand, it's really important, and I would hope that maybe on reflection, those customs officers who felt they were just doing their job might reflect on how they've done that, because we all know that there's terrorists that aren't brown. So you're just letting them through? Okay, that's fine. So, you know, you never know, you might have changed an opinion that day. And it's horrendous you had to go through that.
Hopefully, but it's an experience. It's just, I can't really say. I want to say it's part of life because that's pretty much everything that I've experienced is just racism. On top of discrimination and different comments. I mean, I've even had police argue with me about what race I am. I say I'm fully black and they say, no, you're mixed race. And
what?
It's absolutely hilarious.
That's crazy.
So for me, after experiencing that much, I just kind of laugh it off. But I can't really say I've seen much of a change towards attitude in the government, in society, because there's so much that is allowed to happen that even the government themselves do to a certain point, that people then think, well, why do we have to change? Why do we have to be inclusive? Why do we have to be open-minded? So generally can't really fault society as a whole, but certain things do need to change.
Yeah.
And it has to start from the top, and government officials have to change how they view people, how they speak about people and their own actions based on that, and then leading into the media, and so a lot needs to change.
Yeah, I agree.